guys. The first time meeting Don Pancho. The
My
first
first
time,
time.
your first
My
time meeting
first
Don
time.
Pancho. What you learn on that trip?
Uh, I learned a lot as far as break it up in a couple pieces. And one is looking at the big picture, like actually seeing everything now and what we're involved in. Because throughout this entire thing, you kind of get in your own job of what you're supposed to do, and each of us have our own duties to YOLO what we do and how we're growing the company. And you get so focused in what you need to do as far as your job to make sure that everybody else is correct, and no one piece is more important than the other. We all have to work together, and you get so focused on that to make sure everything is even and you guys keep raising up that you forget like the big picture, and you get so focused on just trying to make your piece work completely that you forget about that. And really seeing the big picture, meaning how everything is made, from packaging to stickers on the labels to who's making it, where it's made, the way it's made as far as the process, and really seeing the entire factory. That was a first for me. That was what opened up my eyes to really think about everything that we've been doing. We're on the right path. And when we look at our lives, a lot of people, you get so caught up in just the routine of what you're doing on a daily basis, you don't really get to see the big picture, and you kind of get lost in the sauce, lost in the process a little bit, and you start thinking and questioning, well, what I'm doing working? And it's not until you give yourself a refresher where you're able to see exactly everything that you've been working towards on a daily basis to start giving yourself some type of reprieve and know that every step is a step forward, and you begin to learn, you begin to become more happy and satisfied with what you're doing. And it was just good to see that. The next thing was just the team, just us being together, because it's been a while since we all been together. Them living in Colorado, me living in Florida. So for us to get together and just finally just sit back and all experience it as a group is the best thing, because we're working from different states and we're pulling strings from Denver to Louisiana, Louisiana to Ohio, Ohio to Missouri, from Missouri to New York. It's just we're all doing this from different locations, and just to finally get together and see everything and be able to sit back and just be thankful for what we all bring to the table and seeing the vision going forward. That's the big thing, is being on the same page. That's what made it even more experience, more enjoyable experience just doing that. So enlightening, definitely fun. I had fun just touring and seeing, just hearing the stories of Panama and what everything is about in Panama as far as like shipping, because that stuff plays a big role in what we do as well too. Because how do you get it from Panama to the States, and being able to see the Panama Canal and how the business aspect of it all works, the supply chain. It was good to see how it all comes together, because ultimately what we're doing is supplying to the whole world from there. And to really see it now is brought an enlightening experience that kept me more motivated and more confident. And I was already confident before, but now just seeing it and being able to touch it, feel it, taste it, that has given me a better, a more driven experience and perspective going forward.
You mentioned off camera when I asked you about the trip when you had just gotten back in Miami that um, there were now there was something that now allowed you guys to package bottles at a faster or a greater amount.
Hmm.
Is that a new change?
That is a new change, because before, everybody has difficulties in a business, and the best thing that I can say about us is we've been very resourceful in doing big things with just a small budget, and it's been great. And one of the things that we've been able to do is package a lot of bottles, and package bottles to where we've been able to anticipate sales with how they're being packaged, because nobody just wants to have bottles and just have them sit there and feel like you wasted money. At least want to time it up. At least with this market, you want to be able to time it up to where you have a surplus and have enough to where if you do an event, if somebody buys more than usual for a club, or they buy more than usual for a restaurant, you can take into account those things to be able to get it out faster. And one of the things that we're starting to experience, and everybody else is as well too, is the backing up of bottles. How long is it taking to make newer bottles to be able to package? And most people are looking about months out, years out actually, to get their products to be able to be bottled. And for us, we invested money in this new machine where it goes from packaging 150 bottles, I think in maybe a day or 2 days time, it does it in an hour, 150 bottles an hour, which is like impressive. So if we needed to get pallets filled, we can virtually go from weeks down to now days, where we're able to do it. And once again, the supply chain, we're able to get them on a ship, and then bring it to Florida, bring it to, Texas, and be able to get it out there faster. And it's really just that level of supply chain, and being resourceful, being able to find things that'll help us, and investing in the right things that'll help us improve upon what we've been doing. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just making the wheel better. That's all it is. We're not trying to change anything that's going on. We're just trying to see what we can do better with what we got. And that's helped us all the time, because we never steered away trying to change the identity of who we are. And it served us well so far. And like I said, pleased with the overall experience, just how we're going, the direction we're going into. And there's a lot of intricate things in there as far as how it pertains to life itself. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
What was it like meeting Don Pancho? Because obviously it was your first time. So what was he like? I know you know, he's Cuban. My mom's Cuban.
Yeah.
My family's Cuban.
Yeah.
So what was that? What was that like?
Different for me. It was cool. It was different. I didn't speak Spanish, but what I did gather, he was excited to see Phil's wife, Jessica, who is the one that runs basically most of Yolo Rum. And she's the one that got all this stuff started. She's the one that was gifted the recipe. Don Pancho made it specifically for her, and it is what it is today. So he hadn't seen her in about 10 years. When he finally saw her, you just see it was a big smile, and he greeted all of us. As we'd known him for years. I just met him, but he's already cracking a bottle open that's 30-year-old rum that's his, that he don't do. And he only has, I think I put it on my Instagram, maybe 500 that he's ever made. And he cracked open two of them, not just one. He cracked open two bottles, just like, here you guys go. And he says it's his personal stash, and he doesn't do that for anybody. So as the day kind of went along, I started to understand how much power this guy really has in the industry and the community, just how he moves, how he's respected, but how knowledgeable he is of everything. And he's made a lot of popular liquor brands that, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a lot of liquor brands that he has created that is some same people that are in the clubs popping bottles, events. Like, he's been responsible for that. So that just adds more to it. The fact that we have somebody that is as established as he has for years. He's 86 years old. He's been doing this since he was 3 years old. His dad taught him how to smell liquor to be able to create it. He's never tasted liquor in his life. He's never drank it at all. He told him that, if he ever was to drink liquor, and this is from his pops, that it would mess up his I guess, whatever he smelled, however he was able to taste it, if he did taste it. So he never had a drop of liquor in his life. But then you walk into this room that he has that's just locked away, and he's got probably over 500 different recipes that he just has gone on his nose. So for him to make those things and have them be popular, and you see him in the stores and know that it came from this guy, and he's as humble as can be. He doesn't walk around like he's arrogant. He greets me just like he greeted Jessica, just like Phil. And that was, to me, that was cool, and like I said, what I was able to pick up in Spanish, he was cool with me. He liked me. So it was definitely fun.
What was that? What did that 30 years of special made sauce that he had? What was that? What was the taste of that? Because that sounds.
Honestly, and he even mentioned it, from what I gathered in the room, he said that his stuff, his rum, is an older version of ours. That's what he said. So to me, that was pleasing that he knows that, look, it falls in line of basically the standard. And that's what it's about. It's not about him making something identical. It's just more about the process that it took to get from 30. Well, what we have here is not 30 yet, but it'll get there. So here you go. This is the same lineage that you have to take. The same thing with the silver. They're all in line, but it's just that principle of that piece of it is what was important that I took away from it. So it's just pleasing, but it was smooth, but this is a baby right here though.
Anything new going on that, that you can tell us, that you can kind of share what's to come?
With YOLO?
Yes.
I guess it's just, it's been steady Eddie for us, man. Like now it's at the point where you plan, you start seeing, you plan, you see, you plan, you see. We haven't been big into events yet because we've really been watching. We've just been watching to see what works from an advertising standpoint. Advertising on the web and advertising, we've been watching other people's events, trying to see what people are doing, because we have this elaborate plan where we're working with somebody else, a bigger company, that's basically showing us what we need to learn. And a lot of it is about data, what you can learn and what then you can apply. And that's what's been helping us out, is because we've been able to test, see what works, what doesn't work, what we can make better, what we can do less with. Same thing with the bottles. When we go into redesigning our bottles here, not even redesigning, but being more cost effective is the same thing. We're constantly trying to figure out how to make what we have that's good better. And that's all it comes down to. We're not trying to do something that's extra that sticks out. We just want to make sure that the foundation that we have in place is still in place when we decide to unravel everything. Because once the stuff that we have out, once it gets moving, it's kind of like a snowball effect. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, like I said, steady Eddie, man. But till then, the liquor's not changing. So you just drink it, enjoy it. And it really comes down to it. You only got one life to live, man. So enjoy it. I appreciate y'all tuning in to Conversations with Carroll. This one was a little bit more personal. As I keep doing these, I like to open up about my experiences and what's being built behind the scenes, off of social media, because I feel like these are things that you can apply to yourself, just lessons within inside the lessons that I'm learning. You can use it in your life to build your own business, build your own team, start your own career. So definitely encourage you to pass this message along, and subscribe as well too. Thank you.